Yo, what up, guys? Beside here with a champion guide for Basha, a void affinity champion you can find in the Skinwalkers faction, who is slowly losing his value in Raid Shadow Legends due to the fact that two champions now do what he used to do in Raid Shadow Legends. That's Yumeko and Warlord. So what's Basha known for, used to be known for in Raid, was this A2 skill right here, which will increase the cooldown of all target skills by 2 turns. That means the enemies will just lose 2 turns out of their skill and they have to wait and use their A1s for an entire 2 turns before they can now use their main abilities to try to nuke you. Hopefully by then you've taken them down. So that's the main thing that Warlord brings to a team. That's the main thing that Yumeko also brings to a team. And he does it like a budget version for 2 turns, not like 3 turns or a full team cooldown like they do, right? So Basha is best known for that, and being void affinity, that means he can do it against spirit, magic, force. He doesn't care. Just give him enough accuracy to make this happen. Unfortunately, this is what he's only known for in Raid. Nobody builds Basha with the intent of using this is A3, this block buff, debuff for 2 turns, because it's a 4 random hit, right? So it's not gonna put a block buff debuff on all the enemies, whether they are 5 or whether in the Hydra. And it's also on a 4 turn cooldown when you spend books on it. This is another reason why he's not used for this skill, because champions like Ugo came around, champions like Mantu Uko, and we got Deliana for free. So these champions kind of took his spot for this A3 skill right here that places this block debuff buff. Now this A1 weaken on the A1 is always useful everywhere. 75% chance of landing, which is a high chance. This champion actually hits hard if you can put in enough crit damage and crit rate to make it happen. But because I'm building him just for this A2, I'm not going to build damage on this champion. What do you need on champions who need accuracy to land skills like this? Accuracy. That's all you build on them. Now, how you decide to go towards the accuracy might depend on where you use him. In early stages of the game, why I use this champion for faction wars, Skinwalkers faction was one of the difficult ones I could not beat, at least last year, before they released a bunch of new champions that made it a little bit easier. He was the champion that kind of neutralized the enemy's threat in the wave content without his A2. So if I click Basha right here, you see me still maintaining his early game build of just pure accuracy, because this is the build you use in the arena. This is the type of build you use also in early game. Now, if you want to be very, very cautious about your build, you might want to go early game lifesteal, because that always works, right? Lifesteal cannot go wrong, especially for faction wars, early game faction wars, when you don't have a reviver or a healer to keep him alive in that faction. Now, for general content, I wouldn't recommend you build this champion for the Hydra, but this same build you see right here will work for the Hydra if you do not have this Deliana I'm talking about, or Ugo or Mighty Uko, or all those other champions that can do a better job with the A3. So because this A2 will be entirely useless in Hydra and against bosses, totally useless. His A3 is what he was gonna use. So I put him speed, because this is not a champion that wants to go slow. Obviously he wants to go first and neutralize the enemy's skills, right? So you want speed and accuracy. Speed and accuracy, that's what I was looking for in his skill. And let's see if I got it over here. Speed and accuracy right there, speed right here, speed, because I was going for an arena build, PvP build in this new gear. That's why I put more speed and less accuracy. Besides, giving this 2-piece set of perception set gives you a lot of accuracy. Now, for an endgame player who is considering rebuilding or building Basha, if you've been unlucky enough to not get a Yumeko or a Warlord, you might want to go towards what do you call this endgame build now? Stone Skin, because fast stone skin is not what you normally put in UDK and other champions who are in stone skin, right? So you might have a lot of stone skin who have triple speed and high accuracy stone skin, right? He might be a perfect candidate for that. I considered building in that content, but it might be silly because I don't intend to use this champion in my teams ever, because I have those two champions and I have those other options who can do the A3 and the A2 better than he does. I'm just putting in this guide for beginner players who are looking to build him, and I'm still emphasizing on faction wars as his main use right now in 2023 in Raid, and also in the arena where I'm going to go in and test him out in, especially in 3v3 arena where you don't have, your third team doesn't have any person to neutralize the enemy's skills. All right, total stats you're looking at, I went overboard and went 521 accuracy. I can even bring in somebody else who will boost that accuracy additionally by 50% accuracy aura and make me even be able to debuff most champions who have high resistance. For the speed, above 250, because I have a speed booster. Hopefully he can follow immediately after the speed booster and neutralize the enemy's threat. That's what I'm hoping that will happen. That's why I went high speed and high accuracy. Those are the only two stats I was looking forward to. I wasn't looking at his HP, his defense, and all that. Like I said, high crit rate and high crit damage will make this champion hit hard. You can even put him in that savage set, cruise set, and all that stuff. But I'm not trying to. I will save my damage set for other champions who are specialists in that type of content. So that's my build explanation right here. Accuracy on the banner and accuracy on the chest gave me this high amount of accuracy and full high accuracy sets. This was because there are champions who in the arena, gold 5 especially, cannot be easily debuffed. That's why I'm coming this high. You don't need this high amount of accuracy for content like the faction wars. 250, 300 is a sweet spot for those newer players who are building this champion for the first time and just testing it out right here. All right. For his masteries, he has standard damage dealer masteries, because back then the only way to actually deal damage, a little bit of damage, or contribute damage to that faction war bosses is to get War Master in almost all your champions. So he was one of the champions who got War Master earlier in those days. I've not regeared this. It's still more of like a nuka damage dealer build, but if you want only to focus on high accuracy for this champion, you probably want to go towards this Eagle Eye, which is can't go wrong in debuffers, right? So that's what I would recommend. Defense 3 and Evil Eye. If I was to regear him right now, I'm not going to build him and get War Master. He's not featured in the Hydra. He's not going to feature anywhere. He's not contributing to my damage, although his multipliers are kind of impressive. All right, for blessings, you want to go towards your normal standard cruelty if you're going to use him against bosses, especially to use that A1 to help, or commanding presence if nobody's bringing that to your team. Nothing special about his blessings right here. He has an aura for speed though, for HP in all battles, but that's not our most popular aura that we like to use in content. So I'll not hype this champion too much. I'll just show you where I tend to use him in 2023 and call it a day. We're not going to hype him too much because he doesn't deserve all the praises. Now this is the team that I'm looking at right now. The purpose of me bringing him right here is see if he can neutralize champions like this. Material Life Bane, right? When I mean neutralize, I mean put their skills on 2-turn cooldown, increase the duration of that cooldown on their skills. Let's see if you can make it happen. When that happens, then my champions can slowly go in there and nuke them down. I just want to see if you can debuff a neutraler with this high amount of accuracy that I have. Increase accuracy buff on him. Oh, I don't even need this champion when I have somebody else doing increase accuracy. All right, let me put it on 1 speed and see what he does. This is the A2. He will always start the battle with this skill on auto. Let me see. Yes, we were able to debuff that neutraler. Oh, well, not debuff, but increase the duration of her skills. Put it on 2 cooldown, 2-turn cooldown right here. We even have more, and then we can slowly take them down eventually. Not even if it's not on the first hit. But yeah, that's what it does for your team. Even if you have big nukers, big damage dealers on the enemy team, you can now slowly begin to nuke them down. Whether it's a single target nuker you have or an AoE nuker, it doesn't really matter. When these enemies damage and when their threat is now neutralized, you can take your time and slowly kill them. That's what he will do for your team. And whenever an enemy, if he puts him in defense, whenever they see him in the team, they're just praying, oh, don't let that warlord take a turn. Oh, don't let that Yumeko take a turn. Oh, don't let that Basha take a turn. So it's the same prayer for those 3 champions, because if they take a turn, all your skills will just go on cooldown for at least 2 turns. So let me try one more battle right here. This is a high accuracy, high resistance team, but that would be too much. Let me refresh and try one more and see before I go. All right. Basically a go first team. I don't see this working in a go second team. Truthfully, I don't see it working because he will most likely die. That's why I say for Stone Skin, that means maybe a go second team. I know the speed of my habitat is fast enough to go first. That's why I see me flexing on these champions like this. Put their skills on cooldown. It doesn't matter if he dies. His job is already done. I can slowly take them down now. If I don't get nuked though. Do I need to revive him? Alright. But it's not required. I want to proc down killable? Nope. Let's kill everybody before they get any ideas. And Abita will remove, I can. He's left using his A1. He can't use his big AoE hit that would have killed all of us. He's only left with his A1 thanks to Basha putting his skills on cooldown. All right, that's it. That's what Basha does to for your teams. Whether you're using him in 1v1 arena right here or in 3v3 arena, I wouldn't recommend you put Basha in a defense team, go second team, except he's in a stone skin or immunity set that will make him not be easily debuffed or easily killed. So that's my recommendation right here for Basha, how to use him in this current day. Now, a lot of people will still not want to build this champion. I totally understand that. Like I said, it's a more of a faction war champion these days. In even the Skinwalker script is open. Let me see if he's in my teams right now in the end game. Nope. He's no longer in my teams. I have so many options right now in the Skinwalkers faction, but that Basha took a seat. So when I didn't have this champion, he probably was in there, or she's too squishy, so he is probably the champion that was there. So when you begin to have a lot of options, Basha just gets off your Skinwalkers faction. But if you don't have all these amazing legendaries and you're dealing with epics for this faction, let me just switch to only epics only. Probably look, this is an early game. This is exactly the team that helped me beat it in the early game. I think this is how I beat it first. I don't think I used both of these champions, but one more damage dealer right here was used. Let me see if I can find it. I had this champion in the early game. So yeah, I think this is how I beat the faction war back then. And Basha kept the skills on cooldown while this was my reviver right here. And my main source of damage was the poison and these hits. So Basha is still very viable, not a Hydra champion, very still good in PvP content. Like you can still see him. If you don't have a Yumeko, if you don't have a Warlord, he's your third best option to put enemy skills on cooldown. All right, let me know how you use this champion. If it's any different from the way I use him, I rebuilt him just to show you off in this champion guide, but I'm not going to be using him because I do have those Yumeko, and yeah, she just does everything. I don't need to use Basha. Maybe I don't even want to build a third 3v3 team with him. That's all I have for you guys to showcase Basha, how he appears or he works today in raid. A smaller version of Yumeko, a smaller version of Warlord, but still useful somewhere at least, right? Let me know how you use him, what build you have on him. I prefer triple stone skin, triple perception. Yes, I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Still talk about champions who have lost and forgotten, because they still deserve a spot in some beginner teams. Later, guys.